Welcome back to a very special episode of the Triple Threat Podcast, where we have a member of a group you all know and love. Maybe don't love, that's not our problem. We got B Terrell with the committee. How you doing today, B?
I'm lovely. I'm lovely. That's my radio announcer voice. But no, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
I actually want a quiet storm tip, but okay. Well, we're going to get into it today because we have a very special episode with a very special guest. We have Miss Pokey Chatman here with us today. How are you?
Look, I'm great. I'm just glad you guys got me on your short list to come on because I've been hearing some rumblings about this committee, so I need to make sure I'm with you. I love it.
No, let's start there. What have you heard?
Yeah, who sent you? What you know?
It's not even about what I heard, because I'm an old head, but I can feel when something has a presence and people are paying attention, and I like that because that's what's needed. So kudos to you guys for laying that groundwork and getting it done.
Well, look, We On Space is cutting up. If you ever want to join us Tuesday nights.
Real, I've been hearing that. I have to check it out one time for real.
Look, hurry before we get banned.
Okay. Okay.
But first, again, thank you for taking time out of your schedule. You're pretty busy these days with AU. How is that going so far?
Look, what you're seeing on the outside is the real deal, probably then some. I mean, we're on the inside of this and I can feel it because I'm getting feedback from people, not just the basketball, but just the content and the people that they've brought in and how they're showcasing every aspect of their existence. And, I got involved with this, I think back in July when they first reached out, and I felt that it was going to be like this, but it has exceeded my expectations. So I'm just happy to see it continue on because I think a lot more people are going to want to be involved.
Here's hope.
Okay. So they reached out to you, you said?
Yeah, I don't know if you met Eileen Hauser. She was actually mine. You have?
Yeah. A few months ago.
Yeah, and I've just known her over the years with Nike, and she was a rep, had some contracts with Nike as some of the players did. I did as a coach. So when I knew she was involved, Eileen's pretty straightforward. She's not going to overdo it. And in her enthusiasm, the first time we talked, I was like, okay, that's a little bit different for Eileen. It hit different, right? So I just kept paying attention. And I'll be honest with you, the bottom line for me was professional basketball, more spots for players in America during a traditional season. And I'm like, yo, if I can be a part of that to help it along the way, I'm in. And everything else has been gravy. I love it.
And just as a coach, because I know we've heard from a lot of the players and they're like, this is the best experience playing basketball we've ever had. And I know part of it they say is because they have a little more control and can kind of, tell the coaches when, to go sit down. I know they ain't telling you to sit down like that, but just, from
you
your
can't tell Pokey to sit down.
Yeah. Just for you as a coach, or as a facilitator, how has the experience been from your perspective?
It was a major adjustment for us as well, because your natural inclination is to, act or react and try to take care of everything. But the premise of this is a player-led league. I do understand that, basketball is a little bit different from volleyball and softball in that there are so many more decisions being made in a split second, right? It's not just who's tired, but who they're coming in for, what you're going to run, matchup schemes, time, score, an entirely different scoring system. So, the basketball part, yes, most of these players are coming in and know what they want, but just managing the totality of that is where they've utilized us. But it's kind of morphed into, if they need us more, they're okay to ask us for more help. So I'm actually enjoying that and watching them grow each week. So the hard part was sitting down and being quiet. Shit, that was tough.
So obviously, if they don't know, hopefully they learn a lot about you after speaking with you today. But we know that you've done some great things, coached some great teams. Doing this, I guess, 3 years since you've kind of been away from coaching. How have you spent that time? Like, what have you been doing? Did you take a break? Were you working behind the scenes, still involved with basketball? What does that look like before AU and obviously before getting back into the W?
Yeah, it was two and a half years, actually. Yeah, almost, yeah, 2.5. I don't know why I remember September 9th. I say, shit, I got fired on my day off. What's up with that?
Ooh, this is about to be spicy. I need a drink.
No, not spicy. It's like I'm 52, so perspective comes a little bit easier. But I've been doing this 3 decades, right? So it was, I actually welcome the rest. Don't misunderstand me. No, no one likes being relieved of their duties or going in a different direction, but something about it didn't just hit me in my gut and knock me down. I was like, I did what I was asked to do, blow it up, build it up. New leadership comes in. They want to go in a different direction. I was good with that. I could put my head on my pillow. And, I didn't want to convey that because people would never believe it, right? They're like, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. But I was okay. I think my assignment was done there. And I spent a lot of time. I live in New Orleans. So, I had a place there and I just love my city. So I spend a lot of time. I'm about 2 blocks from the quarters. I can walk, listen to music, sip on some good wine, watch basketball. I really tried to become a fan of the game. Because it's hard as a coach. No one wants to watch a game with the coach because we're rewinding stuff and we get behind and you can't get on Twitter because then you'll know the score. But I spent that time relaxing, being a fan, going to see people who would always come to see me. And I was doing some consulting for a couple of colleges, a semi-pro team, some speaking engagements, but just I wasn't looking for it. It was just something because when you're older, you just got connections out there, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I was just also getting ready. I wanted to delve into the NBA side only because it's a challenge, right? All you got to do is basketball. I remember Becky would always tell me, even Jenny Busick, they would say, look, they don't care if you're a man or a woman. They're just trying to get their next check. That's everybody on the outside making a big deal about it. So I kind of pursued that, got down to a finalist for a G League head coach position. But it was cool. I did some private training, some lessons, and then lo and behold, Noel gives me the call and here I am. So I enjoyed the time off minus the pandemic woes.
And get that time to recharge because that's always necessary. So
them good beignets down there. Woo.
I'm gonna say because I love your city too. I'm pretty upset they ain't got that Final Four going back there, but that's another story. But so then we see you at AU, and then we also hear the announcement about you going back to the W. What was that process kind of like, and what was the reaction from your part when you got the call?
Yeah, I coached Noe in Russia, Noelle in Russia, and actually Sue was on the same team. And just, I think it was like January 4th, she reached out to me and we talked and she just wanted to know if I would be interested. And, a couple of things. Yes, because it was her. Yes, because of the Seattle organization. And we all see what they put on the court and the 4 championships. But for me, I think about their current GM started off as an unpaid intern. Right now, she's a GM. Mm-hmm. They had a plan for Noelle. It got fast tracked because Dan took ill. So they're not afraid to promote within if it's not the popular pick. For them, the popular pick is who can get it done, regardless of what they look like, where they came from. And they are who they are, from, the sustainable building they're going to play into Planned Parenthood when it wasn't popular to female ownership. It just hit different in this time when we're still going through so much, let me not say a bad word, stuff, and it just felt good. And then the rest is history. Noelle has that quiet voice, but she's very intentional, specific, and she doesn't beat around the bush. And then it just happened like in 2.5 weeks, it was done. And the best part was the reception from everyone, man. Look, one day they had me all emotional and stuff. I'm listening to my gospel, read messages, and everyone was so excited. I'm like, Lord, I got a tear falling down my eyes. I'm so grateful. So I feel like a kid in a candy store at Christmas time. It's good stuff.
So how, obviously, you never really took that break away? Like you said, you've been working behind the scenes, so you're still around basketball, but now that you're with AU as a facilitator, how is that kind of like preparing you, kind of helping you get back and ready for the upcoming season with the Storm?
Yeah, Mercedes is here and Kiki Harrigan is here. So I'm like, oh, look at God, right? And
Let them
so,
use you.
but look, it was so funny because I'm like, yo, I don't want no stuff from anybody. So I would see them and go, don't y'all come talk to me, right?
No tampering on your name.
Exactly. But all in jest because it's free agency. We could talk anyway, but just the timing of everything. But I think the preparation is just assisting, because I was an assistant coach for 14 years. People forget about that, but just assisting young people, players in their in their quest to be the best, and then also just sharpening my skills, because the time off I had, I mean, I watched a lot of basketball. People think the old heads can't get better. We evolve too, and I'm looking forward to learning some stuff myself.
And then just with that, because you kind of are known for your eye for talent and just how you've been able to pick out these different players that we're now seeing in the league that are doing huge things and have come, a long way. And some people may not have seen it when you saw it. What kind of things stick out to players for you when you're doing your scouting?
It's different. I went into a situation in Chicago that was an expansion team that had never made the playoffs. And then I had to go to Indy, where they had never done a rebuild. So I was asked to blow it up and build it up. So the look is different than, say, Seattle, who's established and they have a system, a way of play, and they find players to fit that and mold it. But I think the biggest thing, and I was telling to someone this morning, that oftentimes coaches, I hope I don't do this a lot. We let our egos get in the way. It's like, it's a hell of a lot easier for me to morph to the moment than 12 players, right? To be flexible enough to see what's needed in terms of how we need to play. So I think, I'm always looking, it's this point guard point of view. It's not just what's in front of you. And I think sometimes people are afraid to make those decisions that Joe Blow, who's come and see your damn game for entertainment, they don't get it. So I think sometimes that handcuffs people, and I'm not afraid of that. I tell people all the time, Courtney Vandersloot was my very first draft pick. And
I was ready for you to talk about Courtney.
no, but it's so funny when people are like, oh my God, and I'm like, dude, that was so easy. And not because of what she's done now, it's because what she was able to do back then, like, she scored all those points in the tournament. That's what everybody saw. But I'm telling you guys, her vision becomes clearer as the court shrinks and the game slows down for her. Most people get scattered and blind and they play fast. And I thought to myself, damn, I'm going to just tell everybody I taught her that, even though I didn't. I'm just going to enhance it, right? And, the rest was everything else. But I think it's just a matter of not being afraid to trust your gut and go for what you're trying to accomplish.
And then because Benaja Laney was another one that you kind of spotted out early on. Like, what did you see from her?
She got a long list of them.
Yeah, no, I drafted her 17th pick in this draft. And that year in college, Coach Stringer had a bunch of post injuries. So Benaja and Copper were playing the post. And I was like, damn, they're dogs and they're like this big, right? So that stood out. And she changed her way of playing so Rutgers could be successful. And I'm thinking to myself, she's gonna have to make another change when she comes to us. But her mother's a basketball player, coach. She's been around it, but it was just her leadership, her body. She could play both sides of the ball. You can't go wrong with that, right? And well, so I thought. So look, I was lucky to have two servings of Benaja, and then to watch her go on and secure the bag, it's just been awesome for me to see.
Benaja World Tour, like we're a fan of that over here.
Yes, it's crazy, right? Like, I told a story to somebody. I forgot. Oh, I was on a podcast last week, and I remember as a rookie, she had this commanding presence because she has that voice, and she has that mean, stern look. And she's never joking. She's really spot on about basketball. So I remember she was on the team and like Elena was there and all these, vets and star players, and she didn't care, and they listened to her because she brought it every day. So kudos to Benaja. I wish her all the best, except when we play them.
I got one of my faves, down in Atlanta now, who you drafted, which was a surprise pick back then. You took Cheyenne Parker, so
Right.
like I saw what she did at Middle Tennessee State, so I was always a fan. So when you took her, I was surprised. So I would just say thank you, because now Atlanta Dream has benefited from the services of Cheyenne Parker, so I can't wait to see her back, and that's a Pokey product.
No, listen, CP got caught up and, they said she did, she tested for some, it's widely known. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm not going to say exactly what I thought, but I just hated that she was going to get marred with that for life. It didn't take away the fact from she was a tremendous offensive rebounder. Number one, she loves contact, which people don't quite get, and she finishes around the basket with her left hand. And then, as you notice, like she has this really nice touch. I'm like, okay, I can extend her range, and she got this hunger about her. And I'm like, I need some dogs. That's, I'm thinking she's probably thinking my basketball's over, right? So I know once I get her, she's gonna run through a wall for this opportunity. And she did. And so I'm just happy to see her. She sent me a picture of the baby a couple of weeks ago. So I'm just happy to see her doing well.
So in coming back to the league, what are kind of the differences from the league you left a couple of years ago? Like, what have you seen change?
Oh, wow.
But we could just get a short list, because I know.
No, I'm trying to, no. No, it's not. I think we all have these stories where we say the pandemic in our personal lives made us pause and peek at folks differently, right? I think it also gave us a different lens into sport. Everybody sat still and watched some things, and then they had time to promote some things, to push some things, to speak on things that pissed them off, right? And so all those things got momentum, and I'm good with all of that. And I'm not one of those people that, I'm not going to shit where I eat or anything like that, but it's about growth. And I'm 52, so I'm not in the age group where, oh, we should just be so happy how far we've come. I like pushing the envelope. I like the direction things are going in, because it's always from a positive standpoint, even though we claim to want to be like the men so bad, right? But we're so sensitive in women's basketball. I'm like,
yes.
like,
talk to the people.
No, are you reading our group chat? Are you reading our group chats or something? Because we say the same thing.
No, like that's part of it. Like, I always have this saying with my teams. I'm like, so now I'm gonna do that. But anyway, we have to go through the growing pains and put our personal feelings aside for the greater good. Like we see that everywhere in life. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. All of that. But now it's infiltrating our sport, and it's kind of making it's stagnant when it should be. Because people get their little feelings hurt. And I think as coaches, we're just used to it. Look, everything we do is criticized. We're so used to it. Our family's not. I used to say, listen, these people paying $25 for entertainment. They can say whatever the hell they want to say. It's fine. This is my life. I got a mortgage. And I said, I'm going to make the best decision I can. So we as coaches, we have that thick skin to understand that's just a hit you have to take, but then society sometimes doesn't, and it kind of gets in the way of our growth, I think.
And do you think no, you go ahead.
No, go. I'm waiting on you.
Because, do you think that's kind of because it's a female sport? Because we say this all the time, like we need a little negativity. You can't get the omelet if you ain't gonna crack the egg. So we got to have some of this to move forward, and all critique is not bad critique. But do you think because it's a female sport, everybody's like, oh my God, like y'all can't do that, y'all need to be happy all the time?
think it's layered. I think it's because it's new. Like we
Mm-hmm.
don't have reps at it, right? So so we overreact. So we don't have
Right.
reps at it. I do think sometimes it falls in that, even from how the game is officiated. Sometimes, it's like
Yes.
Oh
Unless you're
yes.
no, no. I don't mean that from I'm not judging them. I'm talking about like we can't be rough. Like even
no.
from the fan standpoint, it's like it's a physical game. I'm sorry, whoever told you it wasn't that. I'm not talking about playing football, but they're elite athletes, and they're going head to head with their muscle. There's going to be some moments where things get tangled up, but I think it's both of those things. And at the end of the day, it's uncomfortable when there's a shift. You think about anything in life. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
throw sports out, right? Be it in your family dynamic, be it in your personal relationship, be it on your job. But now in our sacred sport, there's a shift, and then people losing their mind. And they're like, we're excited. I'm ecstatic. Like I'm seeing. I ran in here one day to catch this free agency show, which I knew everything that was going to be on that. Hell, I was mad. It was 30 minutes. I'm like, man, I'm getting comfortable. I'm like, that's it. So I'm on that side of it, but I also know the struggle of people who wanted to be more as well. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and my only thing is, even when we have a little bit of, I don't know, tomfoolery going on, we still have to, as a collective, be together to bump those people at the top. So they see us like they need the divide. Y'all know how that works. They need that divide. So they can slow down the progress.
You talked about how the game is officiated, and it made me think of I was shooting a game. I forgot what school it was. It's a big game, and like you said, a player like Cheyenne Parker down there banging, and I remember the ref said, "Hey, play nice." I'm like, you don't tell the men to play nice. Like you were literally saying, like it was a warning type thing. They didn't call a foul, but doing the dead ball, they were like, "Hey, ladies, play nice." I'm like, that's, to use your word, that's some tomfoolery. Like you would never tell guys to play nice. Like these are athletes. Allow them to tussle a little bit. But
No,
I do have a
I agree. I agree. I mean, I've never had that from officials. I've just sometimes certain segments of fans of the game want it to be it's a physical game, Of course, we want it to be beautiful and we want it to be legal, but it's a physical game. So that's the part I'm talking about. But yeah, that's not
right,
cool.
right,
That's not
for
cool.
sure. And during your time as a head coach at LSU, do you remember how many other black coaches, maybe not in the SEC, but even just at the Power Five level, there were at that time?
It wasn't many because I know every time and every time I sneezed, it was a big deal, you know, uh, in a good way. It just I don't remember a whole heck of a lot. That was a grip ago. I mean, I've been gone from LSU for like 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 15 years. So a lot, 15 in our sport is almost like 30 with the way things have. We're trying to catch up to Title IX and equity and pushing the envelope and all of that. But I'll tell you what, who's playing at 4 o'clock today? South Carolina and Kentucky?
I think so.
Yep.
Well, 7 o'clock Eastern. I mean, think about that. Dawn's in
Yeah.
South Carolina, Philly girl. Kyra, is in Kentucky. I'm like, boy, look, the old head inside of me just smiles seeing that, and then they're so successful. Well, look, I always want more. I want more.
Let's say the
We say
Southeast was getting them. You looked up and it was filled. So I mean, but obviously still not enough. We need more.
Yeah, yeah. It and for me, it's not even like sometimes people, it's not about the a bottom number, it's about an opportunity. It's like, man, I can't really say this right now. Damn, y'all get me in trouble. It's like sometimes we got to do it to perfection at a level that others can only dream of just to get the second round of interviews. And that's all I'm going to say on that. where, and that's just tough. You have somebody doing something for 2 decades and someone has one little asterisk on their resume and they're the second coming. And it's nothing against that person who's getting that opportunity. It's like, well, damn, why she got to do it like this? So that's still hard for me. And I guess it always will be unless it changes.
That made me think about, I remember there was this panel discussion, maybe shortly after Dawn won back in 2017. I know it was between, it was Coach Staley, it was Coach Yo, it was Felicia Leggett, and Coach Vanessa Blair. And I think Carolyn Peck was the moderator.
Okay.
And they were talking about, obviously, Black women as coaches, and some trying to get to the big, quote unquote, the Power 5 job. How you have to perform when you get there, because you may not get that second chance again if you don't succeed the first time. And I remember back when Felicia was it Indiana or Wisconsin? She was at one of the schools.
Illinois, right?
She was at Illinois. No, I think she must have been at Indiana.
Indiana. It was Gillette at Illinois.
Because Jolette was at Illinois.
Right.
And it's sometimes in how, obviously sometimes you have to really be perfect, because if not, you may never get that call again. That's why I'm excited for people like Coach Yo now thriving, this season at Ole Miss, because sometimes moving up from the smaller programs to the larger programs, like you said, you gotta come and swing, basically, because you never know when that opportunity may present itself again if you don't perform the first time. So, and you definitely performed.
I agree. And I think I just saw something a few weeks ago with Adia said something about that. We don't get the benefit of the doubt or second chances.
Yeah.
And and she put it out there. And when you think about it, we don't. We always think about it, right? So it was nice to, for her to have the comfort and confidence to say it, because it really is true.
Okay, I have a question, and not to stir anything up.
Okay.
Because I have my own thoughts, but so WNBA recently celebrated its 25th anniversary. They had stuff and, tributes and such, and tried to recognize it. What is it like for you to see the league itself make it to its 25th? And then two, how do you kind of feel they did with that?
Yeah, you make it to the 25th. I mean, that's a milestone. You celebrate it. I wasn't inside of it because I was out of the W at the time. I wasn't inside of the things that were activated. The who's, the what's, the hows. I don't know what part of pandemic played. I don't know. I'm just greedy. I'm Warren G. I want it all. It's like, I just want more. And I think it's because it's not because I like to bitch or complain or anything, because I don't. It's like, I've been in Europe for 6 years. I was over there when Tina Thompson had Dylan, her son, over there, and they're going to Russian schools, or players are postponing having babies because they're trying to, so I guess I have a different vantage point. So I think I just want it great for all those reasons. And I know everything's getting better, and I'm going to trust that it's going to continue in that vein. But I just think there was rumblings about it on social media. So I wasn't sure where it was all coming from, like from who was picked or what was done or activated. I can't really speak on that. I'm sure you guys could probably, fill me in on it. No, I'm serious, because I really didn't know.
I wish we could, because like they sent out a tweet in December and was like, "Oh, we're gonna give y'all some top moments," and we was like, "Season's over. We moved on. Like, keep it pushing." So
it didn't come. Okay.
Nothing really transpired that me as a fan I would have liked to see. Like, we've said this in spaces countless times. Like, we would have liked to see some games on ESPN Classic. We would have liked to see, some stuff on like the fallen franchises. Like, talk to me about the Monarchs. Talk to me about the Soul, the Rockers, this, that, the third. We would have liked to see more specials, because like all of our legends are still living. Like you right here, you know, like you said, Tina Thompson, she right there. Like all of them are still active within the game and very much like lucid and can tell us those stories. And I feel like they really just didn't tap into the resource they have and really pay respect to the people that laid the foundation for what we have now. And that was kind of the part that bothered me. So now we get this whole like goat ball ceremony, which anyway,
I'm listening. You're telling me stuff I didn't know.
Like I just to have this whole culmination where you don't really recognize all of the Black people and all of, you know, those women that paved the way, and give a goat ball to somebody who has a privilege within the league, that didn't sit well with me either. So I just would have liked to have seen them, you know, do it how the AU's doing it. Like every time we turn on a game, we see this person with the W. We see this person. We see their kids. We see everybody who's everybody within the league being highlighted. And then when we look at the WNBA Finals game, it's like, oh, Chance the Rapper's here. A Chicago Bulls player's here. But like Cappie Pondexter is sitting right there. And you're not telling us that. So to me, I just feel like, and we've said this on Spaces before, like they need to kind of figure out who they're trying to target and if it is actually including us, because that was something we kind of realized, like coming up, seeing all y'all on like Sister and Martin and in the milk commercials, like I realized like my white friends may not have seen that. And I wasn't even actively thinking that, oh, people may not have had that same experience with WNBA players because they're not in Black culture.
Right.
So I would like to see y'all be reintegrated into pop culture the same way it was in those early 2000s. And I feel like the 25th it really dropped the ball.
Yeah, you know, and you're stirring up my brain because what's the commercial with Dawn says, "Take the jumper, Lisa"? You know that commercial with the W. You guys don't even remember that one, huh? Anyway.
Hey, no. Is that the shop of the
when they're out on the
playground? It wasn't milk. I can't remember.
Is that the one with Kyla Pratt?
I don't remember.
Because I think that was the milk commercials with Kyla.
You're right. But I know that one you said take the jumper, yeah, because it's kind of like Lisa.
Yeah, but and you know what's interesting? You brought up AU, you brought up the legends, and this is not an excuse for anything. I guess my glass always wants to be half full of a glass of red wine, but I always think, what part did what part did the pandemic play in things? One, you know, if the model wasn't there, and then it's a pandemic, so then it's even more glaring, right? But you just made an interesting point. Like, and I understand why AU is able to do what, you know, it's one site, it's one venue, 11 cameras, it's not traveling, whatever. But that was a conscious decision to do it that way.
Right.
So to that point, I see what you guys are saying, you know, and it makes sense. Even within, you know, your personal organization, you have to make a conscious decision. I tell people all the time, I say Seattle made a conscious decision to back Planned Parenthood when it wasn't okay for everybody to do that, you know? So I guess, you know, to what you're saying is just make a conscious decision to go in a certain direction and promote those things, because there's people here, some of these young ladies here, like they're young. They don't remember Cheryl Swoops playing.
Exactly.
They just know the name. So, and I think it's been great for Cheryl too. You know, it's like, because they're babies. Listen, we played a song at warm up the other day, and I won't say her name. I love this little kid. And they played a song and they asked her who it was. And it was a Whitney Houston song. She didn't know it was Whitney Houston.
Okay.
Now she's a baby, and it was an older Whitney song. But my point is, that's perspective and this. So you know what I've been doing every day? They got my list on. I'm playing Luther. I'm playing all the old stuff. Yeah, you know, so it's like you bring up a really good point. You know, those legends of the game, and you know, just doing more with that. So hopefully forward we will.
It's a trickle down effect, because like I'm seeing some of these college players and future draft picks, and they're asking them like who's their favorite player, and like they're stuttering and stammering and like giving kind of non-answers. Okay, not players. I need to stop saying that. It's one in particular that I keep seeing, and it bothers me. But you like when
you can't. Who is this? What's this?
It's a lottery pick coming up in this year's draft.
Okay.
And
Okay.
no, it's Ryan. Like I've
that
seen,
narrows
yeah.
it down.
Okay.
Like I saw a Ryan Howard interview and they asked her favorite player and she kind of was like, "Oh, I take different things from different players." And I was like, "Okay, but who's your favorite player?" And to me, it's like if you ask younger people, because again, like I was in elementary, middle school, so my memory of them is a little foggy. So I could use the refresher. So I know these kids now, like they don't know who came before them, and like they don't know how cold the comments actually were. They don't know, who came like before Diana Taurasi and like what they're seeing today. So it's like in order for the history to continue, somebody has to teach them. Like you said, like you're making a list to make sure they're hearing it. So I just felt like the W could have done a better job of like making sure that the history is preserved and it is shared with the future generations. Cause like that's how the game grows. And I don't really like acting like right now is the starting point as good as things have been lately. Stuff came before that and they need to know that. And I don't know if you'll answer this question because we're on the subject. Who is your GOAT?
Oh, yes. I only get one.
You go top five.
Oh boy. Look, Simone, and this is no order. Um, yeah. I can start with her because it is not because other people aren't worthy, it's because I watched this little girl elevate a state. A state and a football state when she was like in the 6th, 7th grade. I used to leave practice to go to her middle school games. So to me, it's Simone. And then the other part is that, the number of years she played, the gold medals, the championships in Minnesota, but also her giving back. Like, Mom been giving back to her community before it was, and people don't even know about it because at one time we had the same agent. And when we were both in Russia, and she was doing stuff, feeding people, but she didn't want anybody to know. That's how she rolled, And so it's that part. She's always coming back. She did well with her money. She got 48 acres in a damn donkey, named Donkey with a pond, and she love her old cars. So to me, it's the basketball, it's the human, and it's what she's impacted. If I had to pick one, but look, I've been blessed, you guys. I don't even know if I'm worthy of the people and spaces I've gotten to occupy, and I don't even sometimes I don't want to say I forget, but like I really am so lucky. Sometimes people just say that, right? But Lauren Jackson and Tina, oh God, hell, Noel, Sue, D, Candace, Piff, uh, even some of the Serbian top players from different countries that have won medals, I've got to be in their space 5,000 miles away. And it's something about when you're away, you just come together, right? It's a different connection. So yeah, I've been lucky. I've been lucky.
That's another person
I
that
have two
didn't get
questions.
flowers. I'm sorry. I'll start ranting. B, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Yes, but she definitely needs all of her flowers. Give her a whole bouquet, forest, everything. But we'll leave that there. So, two fun questions.
Okay.
I have some of my favorite games. One of them includes a game that you coached. But I know it's different when you're in the moment, obviously trying to get the dub. But do you have a game that you were like, yo, I did my thing, and that was a fun game that I enjoyed coaching?
Oh God. No, it's different. What one of those was probably abroad because I was coaching the Slovakian national team. So that was different. But here it's so different because you're with them for so long, and then you can actually feel and see when they start churning and believing, right? It got me, it's the best high ever, right? And this, oh, you love Atlanta, huh?
No. Yes, because I spent there for 10 years.
But I would tell you this: we had gotten in as a 4 seed, I think, and took it to 3 games in Atlanta.
Okay, I thought you were
And
about to
to me,
mention another series.
no. But to me, that was confidential growth for Sluty, because I always believed in her, right? So she was like, "You believe in me more than me," and I was like, "Okay, for now, but you'll get there." And then I saw her little chest stick out, like she was starting to believe. So it was more about that and not the game. Because from that point on, I'm like, oh yeah, they think they're kind of good now. I got them. Right. And it was all them. So I think it's more about that, not just one game.
So my favorite game, one of my favorite games, I think it was 2016. That was your last year in Chicago, right? 2016.
Yes.
So 2016 in that playoff series against the Lynx. I think it may have been game 3 because y'all forced the game 4. 50 Cent came to that game. Imani had this crazy block. I think she may have blocked Maya or Seal, and they pushed it to a game 4. Imani went off because Elena was injured. I think she had a hand injury that the end of that season.
Damn,
Imani went off. Cheyenne went off.
Yes.
Like y'all, I was here screaming at that block and seeing, not to make it about a rapper or anything, but I remember Imani was on this Twitter campaign, like she was tweeting, like, yo, 50 Cent come to a game, 50 Cent come to a game, 50 Cent come to a game. Right. And when he came and she showed out there in front of him to see, I think y'all were playing at All-State Arena then, to see that place erupt.
I remember that because it was a really close game, and I remember my coach who had the scout. I was like, "What are they going to run? What are they going to run?" And she said 1 or 3 things, and I said, "It's your scout. I'm going with what you say." And she called it.
And, I'm going to find that block.
We were able to scout that, and it's just like, so that to me, I remember that part of the game as a coach, because when like, I'm not gonna have an assistant that I don't believe in, and my ego is not big enough to get in the way. Like, she knew him better than me, and so players know that too. That's how you build that strong staff. So yeah, that's pretty.
I think that was also the trick play at the free throw line with Sluty, right?
Damn.
She missed it, got it back. I remember, yes. Look, I'm telling you, I was locked in during that game. So,
okay.
Yeah, that was. I'm gonna go find those clips and I'm gonna put them on YouTube. So,
okay.
I need you to do that because it sounds like what we say here is the hoes are watching, and we monitor certain players performances when the hoes are watching. So that sounds like a definite candidate for Hall of Fame. The hoes are watching.
Between that and Cheyenne's block on Candace Parker, her rookie year, it was.
Remember that?
Yes. All right. So my second, I'm not gonna hold you too long. My second, fun quote unquote question: are there any outfits? I know a lot of coaches, they put shoes into like their Hall of Fame that they won't wear, like maybe a pair of shoes that they won anything, won a national championship in, or like there are certain outfits that are in a museum, maybe at that school, or depending on some, even the national museums. Is there anything that you look at and like, that was a special outfit, that was a lucky blazer? Because you be killing them with the blazers and the suits and stuff, so you be fresh.
You know what? I think mainly because of the year it was. It was in 2004 when my mentor took ill, and that was an unfortunate situation where I became a head coach, and you don't really plan for that. And I remember having this outfit on, and we were on the West Coast, and we wanted it, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to just wear it stinking because I can't really. And it wasn't anything special,
it wasn't a tan pants.
Nope. It's black. It was black, but it had 4 buttons, buttoned up, and it had the outside pockets in the front. It was just, I wasn't carrying these extra pounds that I have now, but it was fitting nice too, so that helped. But coaches are so crazy. Like, sometimes it's really about, we're kind of superstitious, but we don't like to tell people that. And sometimes it's really about that. But I remember that outfit because I remember a picture we took, and everyone was so excited because the Final Four was in New Orleans. And I'm like, I haven't worn it again. I have not worn that suit again, but I still have it.
This is one of my favorite of you.
Uh-oh, look at my glasses on.
You were sharp.
Oh, that's blue. That's blue with tan. Okay.
You were sharp.
Okay.
Also,
I'm done.
Also call that the hoser watching. But because I know we're gonna wrap up because I know we all got Gamecocks to go watch.
Yeah, I have a 4 o'clock, but I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna be a couple of minutes late. But go ahead. I'm listening.
But just to end on that note, who's the best dressed coach in your opinion?
Best dressed coach.
You go top 5.
I'll go Chauny and Dawn.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Chauny could wear anything. She's, so fit and tall and elegant. And Dawn just has range.
Yes.
She can go hood or she can go high, right? And she gonna rock it, and it's what she feels. And I just like the fact that she's doing it in a place where they had a Confederate flag at the courthouse,
Hello.
Watching her do her thing. And I remember those early days, and I get all that. She's a special one, and not just for what the people on the outside see. We used to be at USA basketball together a lot. And Dawn's so competitive. Like she want to win spades. She want to, win the half court shot.
Everybody talks about her in spades. Like she must really be busting heads on spades.
Listen, I was there in October, right? And I stayed at the house. So I'm trying to think. I was tired that day. It was practice or whatever. And I promise you, till 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm upstairs. She got a big crib. And boom, and she enjoys it. But I remember USA basketball people talking about it. Everyone talking about her affinity for spades. But I would say those two because of the range and the elegance and the statement. Yeah, all of that.
Okay, well, because we got to wrap up, but we'll go on all night. Because I'll just keep asking you. But
how the elders say, my spirit is full.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Hi.
indeed.
Hi. I've been here like this entire time I was been listening. It's been such a great. It's been a joy just to listen. Just to listen. I learned so much.
Thank you. Look, y'all have my numbers. I ain't that person. I am who I am. Blessing and the curse sometimes. People say they want it till you give it to them. I try to keep it real and transparent. I'm for us in every sense of the word.
I love it.
Sometimes it's not the most popular thing, but hey, that's where we're at.
We know, and we thank you for that. And we will catch y'all all later. Thank y'all for joining us for this episode. And we'll see y'all Tuesday in Spaces.
You guys take care.
Yes, ma'am. You too.
Right.
And hopefully we see y'all in person one day.
You.
That'll work. Ciao.